we're back. You are on the go after dark with Tiffany Patton and the crew. And my crew is Baraka Miller, and she is the love and relationship specialist. And then we're joined by the very beautiful Kaylin Risker. She is the CEO and founder of SAFE, Sisters Acquiring Financial Empowerment. And what we were talking about before the break was women who, unfortunately, put down the men in their lives based upon many different factors. The one that I hear that I don't like is, okay, well, I make more money than you. Okay. And the purpose of you saying that to me is what? Because obviously either you knew that that was a circumstance prior to, or there's something that has transpired since we've been together that has caused that. Especially if it's something like losing a job, why you would run a man down while he's literally trying to better himself or find other employment. I don't know why you would do that, because you're not encouraging him at all. What are you doing is literally tearing him down. Who wants to be around somebody who's tearing them down 24/7? I mean, I wouldn't want to. I'd be like, okay, well, if I'm all of those things, I'll be all those things right by myself.
Exactly. So if you find him not home during those hours you are home, trust and believe he's somewhere getting built up.
Woo, okay. Well, on that note, I'm going to ask Mystery Man. And we have to call him Mystery Man because he's not on screen with us, but we needed a male point of view on some of the issues that we are talking about. And then, unfortunately, we're going to go into how love can turn bad and then what we need to do. And then we will tag in Kaylin. But, Kaylin, please feel free to speak
All right.
in any portion of this conversation. Okay, so Mystery Man.
Yes.
I make more money than you. And I'm going to tell you that every chance I can get. Is that going to bring you to me? Or is that going to repel you from me?
That is going to repel me. That's going to make me run away. It's going to make me feel a little less of a man. And it's going to make me, kind of like the same with kids, where if they don't get what they need, they act out.
Yeah.
It's going to make me act out.
Yeah.
That little boy inside of me is going to get upset and start acting out.
See, so I don't understand. And I'm going to do more research on women's lib, because the more and more I say it, and I always hear myself, even when I'm talking about these types of situations, talk about women's lib. We created it, I think, to empower us so that we could have maybe a voice. But I think we took it and just like ran with it, like touchdown, like we're going for it, got this ball and we're running. But it's not serving us. So that's why I don't understand.
I think it's the difference between when you talk about feminism and gender equality, and you talk about people who are hurting, and hurt people hurt people.
That's true.
And then there's also situations where there are people who, you know, there are always radicals in any faction that claim to be part of a group. So when you talk about the conversation of gender equality, you're talking about, you know, where women, you know, feel you work in a particular situation, I do the same job as someone else, and so I deserve the same amount of money. I have the same level of education, same level of experience as a man, so pay me the same. So you talk about those type of things, and then you talk about in the home. And so when you use the word, I'm not aware of any feminist doctrine that supports tearing down a man or anyone. So you have situations where you have some women who are in competition. They may feel that they're in this competition situation with their partner. The problem is deeper than that one statement.
Yes.
The problem is deeper within them. The problem deeper within the relationship.
Yes.
How they probably interact with each other.
That's right.
It probably goes so deep down the rabbit hole beyond. That's just a surface manifestation of how bad their situation probably is. Or the fact that she may need some healing in herself, where she can feel some value, because that's even when you have situations where women tear down each other.
Right.
You know, and or you make comparisons to each other. And some of this happens with the mean teen girl situation as younger girls.
Yeah.
And so I carry a designer purse and I wear this and so that somehow makes me more of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so understanding our womanhood and our femininity and our value from inside place, and that these other exterior things don't make us more than what, that doesn't make us as a person. And what are you contributing? What are you doing in the world?
That's right. Mm-hmm. And that is so, I don't understand why we think that certain things make us. And we're supposed to learn it young. And unfortunately, our children, there's a lot of children raising children. So they're not getting the right foundation. Like Kaylin said, I identify myself by, I wear Prada and Gucci every time I step out the door. So that makes me the flyest thing. I am a woman. That does not make you a woman. That makes you maybe dress very nice. And then quite as it's kept, just because it's designer doesn't make it cute. Mm-hmm. But that's where they find their identity in. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to be secure within yourself, not within an object, not within what somebody else says. If somebody comes up to me and says, you know what, Tiffany, I can't stand you. You are ugly. You are this, that, and the other. And I say, okay, that's okay. And it's okay because that's their opinion. And I'm okay with who I know I am. And it doesn't affect me. It doesn't change how I feel about myself. But unfortunately, we have a lot of women who have allowed certain things to, over time, eat out of them.
Right.
Eat at them.
And the sad part is that the person that will come to you and say, as beautiful as you are, will say something like that to you. It would say, okay, well, what's wrong with this person? Mm-hmm. That even if you thought in your head, you still had to vocalize and try to tear this person down. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I need them to know this. I need them to know that I don't like this about them. Mm-hmm. And so what would that do to them? And it becomes like this empty hole that they're trying to fill with negativity, and it's like a bottomless cavern. Wow. And they wonder why they never feel satisfied, why they're never happy, because they're putting on this junk and negativity inside of them. And so it's really, I feel it's more of a root problem. And where are the grandmas at?
I think I agree. I think it goes way back to they're hurting and they're not acknowledging the hurt and the pain.
Where is the village? Where are the grandmas? Because
where are the women? Older wiser women.
Where are they? Mom and them?
Yeah, mom and them.
They, unfortunately, are of a generation that are doing the same thing in this cycle. And where are the men? Where are the men should be an example to other men?
That's right.
And where it has to stop. Something needs to change.
And I'm so glad that we're like-minded, because at least we can be a start for the change. Because if our children don't see it, our nieces and nephews, if they don't see it somewhere, it's going to continue. But at least if they see it, it can be just like, in the word it says, some plant, some water, but God gets the increase. Okay, well, they may see it in me. It may not, okay, I got it a little bit. And then they see it in you, and they're like, And then God just allowed you to come by and say something to them, or they see it, because they normally do what they see, not what you say. Weirdly enough, that's just how it goes. And when they see it, I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't just want a boo to just shack up with. She says she worth something. I'm worth something. Right. I want to wait. And that's what we're not seeing enough examples. And I don't think that we actually pay attention to children and what we do around our children, because they need to be able to see examples, because literally they are watching at all times.
Yes, they're watching
example. Yes, and they're watching you on Facebook. They're watching you on Twitter. They're following you too. So you can act all one way in front of them, and then get on Facebook and air out all your dirty laundry and do all manners of foolishness, and they're like, man, my mama, oh goodness, okay, well, she's no different than. We have to be ever so mindful. Now, unfortunately, when love goes bad, are there signs? Because, Kaylin, tell us a little bit about your organization and what your organization does and who it gears its focus on.
Okay. Well, the organization is SAFE, Sisters Acquiring Financial Empowerment, and our focus is to help survivors of domestic violence become financially self-sufficient from abuse. So a lot of people aren't familiar with economic abuse. They're barely understanding physical, mental, and emotional part of, and I'm talking specifically about intimate partner violence when I speak of domestic violence. So domestic violence is about power and control.
Yeah.
So let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about love. It's not about lust. It's not about I was drinking or I was high and I did this. It's about one person, the abuser, who wants to have complete power and control over the victim. So with that being said, what happens is that there are all these different components that actually make up domestic violence. So because the work is like really new, domestic violence, the Violence Against Women Act was just signed in 1994. So 20 years ago, it was signed into law to be a national law against domestic violence. To its 20 years. So a lot of work has been done in 20 years, but it's still a lot to go as far as cultural understanding of it. So the first point was to talk about the physical abuse. Then we talked about the mental and emotional. And now we're kind of getting to some of the other areas like coercion and threats and isolation. So isolation, you don't go to your mama's house, don't go to your friend's house. They all haters. I can't stand them. Don't go. When you come from work, come straight home, or you can't even go to work. So you have someone who you've now beat down mentally, emotionally, physically, and now you've kept them away from other resources, from people resources where you could possibly go and get refuge, or they could assist you. So you have all these things, and then you have the economic abuse component, which is, and these are just a few, it's more. Economic abuse is where a victim is kept from working. If they are working, they don't have their own check. That's where you see crazy person in the parking lot every Friday. Everybody on the job knows what time it is, right?
Yes.
And people talk about them behind their back in the lunchroom. You see it, but you don't see it. You're not necessarily connecting this to domestic violence. So this gets back to the point of the signs. The signs are there. It's true. Everybody sees them but doesn't see them. And this is where more education around what is domestic violence is needed. Because he's just chalked up as, he's just the broke, crazy boyfriend, and not realizing it's deeper than that. That this particular person might only be given $20 of her paycheck for gas and food for her kids, and that's a real story.
Yes,
of the people that I work with.
Yes, I've known of some people like that, and I'm talking to them, and I'm saying, honey, why don't you don't have to take this. This is, you got in your car and you worked those 40 hours. Right. You don't have to, but
you don't have to do that,
but to see the fear.
The fear is real. Oh my
God, it is mind blowing.
The fear is real when you also have cases where it was just like a couple of years ago, it wasn't even that long ago, where the ex came to the job, ended up burning down the whole business, shooting. So you have someone, I will blow the place up. Wow. You don't want to be the cause of that. Right. I'll go to your family. I'll do this. I'll take the kids from you. So now all these threats are being made that are very real. Yes. Women are being killed every day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You are nothing. You can't do anything without me. And so it's all of this control where a person feels like I really don't have any place to go. When I go to talk to somebody about it, they don't understand. They're saying, well, why don't I leave? And so it's a very isolating, lonely place where you feel like you don't have any resources and you don't have any help. And so I'm here today to say that there are resources and there are help and there are people who will compassionately help you to be safe through the process. It's important to not say to an abuser, I'm out of here. Bump that, I'm gone, I'm leaving, I'm done. Because at that point, the abuser feels like they've now lost control of the situation. And that's when things escalate. And they're going to escalate to the point, I'm going to reclaim control, even if that means I'm reclaiming it through the loss of your own life and my own life. And so you see a rise in the murder-suicide. So it's just a lot. It's a lot of layers to it, but it's important that people are aware of what different signs are.
And I'm so glad that you said that. When we come back, this is the best of jazz, gospel, and neo soul music. We're going to take a quick break and listen to some more, pay some bills. But I have a question for you as well, because there's things that I want women to know about and what they can do to get out of those situations. Okay? We'll be right back. This is On the Go After Dark. And we're back. You are on the go with Tiffany Patton After Dark, and I have the lovely ladies in front of me, and we're talking about love and relationships, love gone bad. This is Baraka Miller and Ms. Kayla Risker. She is the founder of SAFE, Sisters Acquiring Financial Empowerment, and it is a wonderful organization assisting domestic women who have experienced domestic violence situations. And Baraka Miller, she is love and relationship specialist. She has a wonderful teleseries every week that's going on, and she has some other great things coming up too. She has a wonderful coach. If you're on Facebook, I know you've seen this guy, and I'm gonna mess up his name. I'm trying not to, but it's Stefan Labossiere. Now that's a boss name if you want to say it, okay? He'll be here.
Stefan Speaks.
So yes, I know everybody's saying Stefan Speaks. He'll be here.
He'll be here in the Metro Detroit area August 14th, and he'll be in Auburn Hills, Pontiac area August 15th.
August 15th. Okay, so it's the
August 14th at the Music Hall at the Jazz Cafe, and in Pontiac at New Mount Moriah, Bishop William Murphy's Church.
Okay. So, love gone bad. The signs of domestic abuser. I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think a lot of times we see it, but I think sometimes we as women are so in love with just love that we want it so bad that or maybe we want it from the person that we want it from so bad that we ignore the signs.
That could be the case in some cases.
Okay.
But I think that some of the cases that we just haven't been educated on what the signs are.
Okay.
So cause some of the signs, it's a fine line. Mm-hmm. Between is this domestic violence or not.
Right.
So it's easier for us as women, as nurturers, nurture the relationship, is this just a bad relationship or is this an abusive relationship? Mm-hmm. Are we just going through a rough spot or is this something I really need help for? Mm-hmm. And so, signs could be, where things he's starting to get more controlling and more controlling. Now what happens is, this is the one part that people don't realize. It's not the type of thing where these guys are walking around with the big beef or batter on their head and they're not, and we go to the movie, we go to the show, and I'm eating my popcorn and he just right here and cocked me in the jaw real quick on our first date. And I'm like, it's going to be all right? No, it's not like that. This is something that usually it escalates over time, and these are the same people that when you see the news reports, they're like, not him.
Right.
He's this great guy. It couldn't be him, It's really where they're just wielding this power and control on one person. Now, they may display it in other areas, and maybe in the other areas of their life, that's also being overlooked. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're just like, well, he's aggressive on the job, and that's a good thing.
Right.
Or people like, well, he abuses animals, but he can't possibly abuse a person. Right. And so, abusing animals, that's one of the signs. Someone that could do that, or abusing a child, or So it's so many signs that happen that are a lot more subtle, like the increase in the phone, where you have to check in all the time. So where is that, okay, he's just worried and concerned about me because I'm out late or I work late, to, okay, he's really trying to take tabs on me. And so that's one of the areas that, sometimes it's hard to see when it jumps over to that other level. At first, you may be flattered and happy that someone actually is concerned about me getting in at night and make sure I get to work. Mm-hmm. But then when it's, okay, I have to text you every 15 minutes, and if it's 16 minutes, it's going to be some problems.
Wow.
That may happen over some years. So it's not necessarily, and then you look around and you're like, wait, how did I get here? Mm-hmm. How did I get here? And now I'm at this point where I'm checking in every 15 minutes. And I don't have any money, and I don't have a job, and I don't have resources, and I'm trapped, and I've been isolated. And maybe it is my fault. And maybe I think it's my fault because he's been telling me it's my fault. And so the emotional abuse and the mental abuse. And so you have all these things that happen. And so the first thing that I would say is there are plenty of websites that talk about what are some of the signs and, you know, the checklists and things of that nature. And you can look at the National Network to End Domestic Violence. You can look at the hotline.org is another good one. That's for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can also check out our website, newsafestart.org, for sisters acquiring financial empowerment. But what my recommendation is we all have that voice inside of us. And that's the part that as women, we don't always listen to.
That's right.
Even in getting in the elevator. You're in the elevator, somebody goes to get on the elevator, and you're like, okay, I don't want them to feel like I'm, you know, somebody's going to get off this elevator. And so we put other people's needs and how we want other people to feel sometimes over ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say, you know, I've found out I was in, let me say not me, someone was in a domestic violence relationship. They came to SAFE. They started well on their way, got free from that situation. In your opinion, because you've been working with the organization, you know the signs, you're well versed in every area of this process. How do I know that I'm ready to get back into a relationship?
Because that is such a hot topic. Okay, so this is where my organization needs more money and more resources. Because that's something that we talk about a lot, but we really aren't able to get into it like I want to get into this conversation. Okay. Because unfortunately, it's like people who've been been victimized and have been in a domestic violence relationship where other people know that they've been in a domestic violence relationship. It's like, okay, you had your turn to be in a relationship, you messed up, you need not to do that anymore. Oh wow. I'm going to use myself as an example with that. So I'm a survivor of domestic violence. In 1998, I was in a abusive relationship that escalated to the point where in Labor Day weekend of that year, he shattered my left eye socket, and I have a titanium implant that replaced the bone under my eye. Wow. And so from 1998 to 2006, I had to get surgeries. I had to get myself together. I had to get myself together mentally, counseling, go to the Lord, forgiveness. I went through this whole process. And in this time, I, over the years, fell in love with someone else, was going to get married. That didn't work out. Had another baby. And so now, in 2006, just living a normal life, like I'm putting that behind me, I'm moving forward, I'm being positive, went back to school, everything. 2006, I start SAFE. So now, between 1998 and 2006, I did not talk about openly like what happened to me. I wasn't ashamed of it. I was just trying to move forward. Yes. 2006, now I'm talking about it. Between 2006 and 2008 years, I've been talking about it all the time. I've spoke to Congress. I've talked to all levels, right? So a couple of years ago, I was in dating someone. And this person was excited that we were dating, and they put it on Facebook. And they started getting inbox messages to say, you put your hands on her, you'll have a lot of people coming after you, right? And so, I was thank you for that. But wow, she got protection all over. Yes. And so I started getting similar messages like, just be safe, be careful, you know. And so if I wasn't as open, or if people didn't know that I was a victim of domestic violence at one point, long into 1998, exactly, that I wouldn't have got that kind of feedback. And I could have said I met this guy at a club and we're now living together. People would say, "Oh, gone girl," you know. But it's just being in that situation. Yeah. In addition to some people, depending on where they are in the continuum, I'm just glad I'm in a place now where I'm helping other people and I'm healed and forgave and all that other good stuff. But some people, you know, 1 or 2 years, you know, so people may feel like that's not enough time for you to be in another relationship. And I just feel that that's not fair. You know, it's just like if you got into a car accident and it might have even been your fault. Nobody faults you if you start driving again in a month. That's true. Nobody's like, true. You really don't need to be driving.
That's true.
And you could have been drinking and driving and everything. Now somebody will check you like you're not drinking. Right. But they're not going to say you shouldn't start driving again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is a challenge that a lot of survivors face. And so when victims and survivors come to me and like, okay, I experienced this, I want to now talk about it and help other people. I said, let's have a conversation about what this looks like in real life.
Right.
And I talk about me. I'm not trying to discourage you, but if you are not in a relationship and you want to be in one, these are some challenges that you may have. Because in addition to that, some crazy men have also approached me.
Oh. Okay.
Who wanted to, you were abused. Okay, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to pick that right back on up.
Wow.
And so fortunately, I'm a lot quicker because this is what I do every day. But there are other women who've been in that. I mean, and we're talking about we're on a date. And yeah, I see you go to a lot of networking events and stuff. When we get together, you're not going to be able to do all of that. You're going to have to stay at home with me. And
I'm going to have to find a cricket button.
Wow. So it's a lot to romance after you've been through the trauma.
Okay.
That's a whole nother situation.
Okay, so I'm going to tag in the love and relationship specialist.
Let's just say one thing. So I just got engaged to a wonderful man in March. Woo, 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 and some people are like wondering why aren't I tagging him on Facebook? And I put a couple of pictures up and everything, but we're not done going through that again.
I know that's real. And we were just talking about keeping your relationship, your business private. The old adage when you heard your parents say, "You better not tell nobody we'll go in this house. We'll go in this house, stay in this house." It's kind of like that between the relationship because you do. And people can have great intentions, but it still come off.
It was a lot of love.
Yeah.
It was a lot of caring. Yeah. But for me, it's like I do this work, but I'm still a woman. So just, you have people that are trying to restart and redo their lives.
Yeah.
And now they feel victimized, like I can't even be in another relationship without my friends and my family looking at me cross-eyed. Like I just have this, I pick
like
bad men radar, and that's all that I attract. And so then they start to believe that, and then I believe they then probably try to attract it because you think, well, I'll never get anybody good. I only attract abusive people. Right. And that's very, very unfortunate. It doesn't have to be that way. So I just want to encourage people to know that.
Well, we're going to encourage people to make sure that they come out next Friday and give, because we need to let that part of the program increase, because that's and I'm going to come back to that. So we give all that great information. Right. Okay, love and relationship specialist. What would you say? What would be your advice to someone who is in that type of situation, but they're ready? Their mind, they're ready. Forget what everybody else says. They are ready.
I would say, case by case, each person knows individually when they're ready, in my personal opinion. I mean, if you feel that you've healed, you've forgiven, because that's the key. Because if you haven't forgiven and healed, then you really don't have no business trying to date nobody. Yeah. But if you're at the point where you've gone through the process of healing and forgiving, and you're at the point and you know that you're ready, I would say go for it. But at the same time, I will let those that, my loved ones and friends knows, I'm thinking about, dating again, but I understand, that you're going to be concerned, and I appreciate it. But, in the process, just let me go ahead and do it. I think I'm at a point where I've been through so much, so I know the signs now, and I don't think I'll put myself in that position again. So I think once a person goes there, their standards and their value goes up.
That is true. Yeah. But I will say, unfortunately, it can happen again. The statistics are 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. And so I personally, I'm an advocate that we need to change some of the conversation or enhance some of the conversation around what are the men doing to support the young men to encourage them not to be abused. And encouraging is even like, don't abuse your woman, so you're not showing that kind of example in the household. Yes. Exactly. So I want to talk about a story of one of our good sponsors and volunteers, and this has just really broke my heart. She worked with us very closely since 2007. She had been through some things previously. She was really supported and committed to the organization, and in January of 2013 she was murdered by her husband. And it completely broke my heart. And I think and we worked with her, and she did a fundraiser for our organization, Christina Lozana. love her.
Wow.
And it just broke my heart, and I felt guilty. I felt bad because I'm like, why didn't she come to us for help? You know, we could have. And it's because she felt that she could handle it. I've been through some stuff. I'm working with the organization. I know what to do. So I don't want people to beat themselves up like I should know better. Someone had just inboxed me that like I should have known better than to be in a situation like that. So don't feel that way. You know, abusers are very manipulative, very controlling, very intentional. And if you're just opening your heart to love without agenda, things happen. So don't be afraid to ask for services, or if you feel like you're rich or you're this or your face is on a magazine that you can't get help. Everybody needs help from time to time, and I don't want anybody to be, you know, feel like they can't, that they should be on a certain level. So.
Wow. Well, this is On the Go After Dark, the best of jazz, neo soul, and gospel music. What we're going to do, we're going to play some music, and we'll be right back with more of Love and Relationships After Dark. This is fun, ladies. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
A long time ago in the 40s, Dizzy and Bird gave us this song. They called it A Night in Tunisia, and the melody still lingers on. It was still very strange. Through the squares right off the stage, you could play along, but the melody still lingers on. Max Miles and Angels too. Together they grew. The music was young and strong, and the melody still lingers on.
And we're back. This is On the Go After Dark, and I have Kaylin Risker and Baraka Miller. And Kaylin has a really special event coming up, as well as Baraka has a teleseries. Now, we're talking about relationships, but if you want to hear and find out more information, how to make your relationship whole so you don't have all these gaping holes in your relationship, have things happening in your relationship that you don't want. She has a phenomenal teleseries every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
At 7:30.
Yep.
Okay, so tell us a few of the subjects that you've had already.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the first one was called The Silence That Sabotages Relationships.
Mm-hmm.
The week after that, we had one called Listen to What He Does, Watch What He Says, Understanding the Male Psyche. And this past Tuesday, we had Why Communication is Important, How to Effectively Communicate with a Woman. And this Tuesday coming up, I'm so excited about it. It's called When the Past is Present, How to Heal from Emotional Wounds That Are Sabotaging Your Relationships.
Woo!
So
I'm liking these topics.
right. This is what we talking about. I'm like, I got to get her on the show.
Right,
Like,
see?
This is like the bomb. Right here. So, yeah, it has been so exciting and so informative. The conversation with the panel has been definitely heated, controversial, and sexy. So I'm so excited about it. So excited.
I'm excited.
So I believe we're going to do a live series coming up in October.
Okay.
So I can't wait for that.
Yes. Oh, that's perfect. Maybe I can correlate that with the book release. That'll be real good. That'll be good.
Yeah, because I will be pre-selling my book too. So.
Yes.
So, yeah, we'll
now
talk.
tell us about your book.
My book is called The Scales of Love, which is how he scared, she scared got birthed. I was thinking about different issues within my book. My book is talks about, it's a novel, it's a love romance novel, but it goes through a transformational process where the main character goes through a process of self-discovery, healing, forgiveness, and transformation. She's coming out of a relationship with a married man.
Oh, wow.
So in that process, she's learning self-discovery about herself. Then she goes through a healing process, and she goes through a forgiving process, and it just transforms her life. So there's a little dip in it that makes it a little bit more interesting. So, but out of that, I got he scared, she scared, because those are issues that we don't talk about that is going on in our community. That infidelity is big in our community. It's not just a cultural issue; it's a community issue, and it's something that we shy away from talking about, but it does exist.
Yes, it is.
So I'm believing that my book would give men another perspective on how a woman, the side woman per se, or mistress, however you want to label her, how she, from her perspective, how she feels in that situation. So, but
now that's intriguing. She got me wanting to read the book right now.
I had a mini book club, and I got some very high reviews. It's very relevant, very engaging. It's not your typical scandal or living with Mary Jane, but I'm thinking, you know how people run home to watch those shows, but you deal with those issues in your own home, but you're not acknowledging it in your own home. So I set the tone where we could talk about those provocative topics and provide, thought-provoking conversation behind it.
Well, I like that, and that's exactly what I definitely want here. Is because if we don't shed the light on it, it'll continue to be covered up, and then the problem will continue to exist. But if we shed light on it, the darkness no longer can remain. And then we have to change.
And something you said earlier about the little boy, we as women also have that little girl inside of us too. And my book talks about how we as women, we may have that little girl that may have been abandoned, neglected, or rejected as a child or abused. And getting in those type of relationships, we tend to shy away from getting in a more of a, I guess you could say, a righteous relationship, because we have those issues inside of us that we haven't dealt with, so we just continue the cycle of abuse and abandonment and neglect, and we don't deal with those issues. So once you get to the point where you're ready to heal and deal with those issues, you have to dig deep to find the root cause of the issue. So why? Because you may be in a relationship and it's totally out of your character, and you're trying to figure out, why am I constantly being attracted or attracting these type of relationships? Well, you have to start reevaluating your life, and it goes deeper and barrier, and we're going to talk about that on the show next week. So I'm so excited about going back there. But it's just imperative that we, as a community, begin to heal and forgive.
Okay, so how do we tune in? How do we register for the teleseries?
You can register on eventbrite.com. This series is absolutely free. So
Okay.
I'm so excited. I'm gifting it because we, like I said, as a community, we need to start to heal our relationships.
We do.
We need to do it, not some more for ourselves, but for our babies.
Yes, yes.
Or we continue the
yes.
cycle. So
Okay, so
you
we
go
can
to
go.
my Facebook is Baraka Miller. Is BARAKAH dot Miller MILLER on Facebook, and all the information is on my page.
All right. Make sure you get it. You can have no excuse. It's free. She's gifting it to you. So be able to receive the gift and call in and make sure that you get a part of this wonderful series. Kaylin has a remarkable event that's next Friday. So make sure that you are in attendance. Tell us about that event.
Well, it's SAFE's 8th anniversary event, so it's our 8th annual appreciation event. And the purpose of this event is really because our organization is 100% volunteer-led. I'm a volunteer as well. And so there are a lot of people who invest in this organization. I'm a full-time volunteer. This is all I do. And so we've galvanized this group of, like, awesome leaders, experts in their field that really pour into the survivors of domestic violence live every day. So we want to acknowledge our volunteers this year. We want to acknowledge our sponsors and supporters, and even a couple of clients who've really made great strides to reach the goals that they've set for themselves. We have a live TV show that we do every year. We do we have museum tours. We have wine tasting. We have food. We have the awards, silent auction. I mean, it's just a really nice, robust, wonderful evening, a celebration that we've helped over 850 women since we started in 2006.
Awesome.
And the event is from 5:30 to 9. It's Friday, July 18th, from 5:30 to 9 at the Detroit Historical Museum. And then from 9 to midnight is the after party, the afterglow.
Okay.
And so it's a celebration. We really need our community to come out, and that's men and women, because people think it's because it's domestic violence that it's
women.
This is a fundraiser. So we value what you're doing in the community. We want to support you. We're going to come out. We're going to have a good time,
and we need our men to support
yes,
these women. You may not like, and you may not be one of these men who are doing these heinous things, but you can be that man that supports these women transform and help and uplift these women.
There are way more men who are not than
that's
that
right.
are. The
That's
ones that
right.
are just making a bad rep for the ones that are.
That's right.
So the ones that are not, that are, doing what they're supposed to do, that are in healthy relationships and are providing and caring for, nurturing for their community, we need you to come and partner with us and support the work that we're doing. We have men on our board. We have men that volunteer for our organization all the time.
Okay. I feel full because I have two women who are really doing what I guess God has called you guys to do in a major way. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it. Yes, please.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I just want to make sure that people know where they can get their tickets from. They can go to our website, which is newsafestart.org, NEWSAFESTART.org. And the phone number is 800-757-4919. That's 800-757-4919. You could call about the event on Friday, July 18th. Or you could call if you want information or you need some information to help yourself or someone that you love.
So could we call that same number to possibly sign up to volunteer?
Yes, volunteer opportunities.
Okay.
You want to donate, you aren't able to come, that you want to, sow a seed, you can also do that on our website as well. So the numbers are 800-757-4919, and the website is newsafestart.org, NEWSAFESTART. Sisters Acquiring Financial Empowerment. We're on social media. We're all over the place.
All right. Okay, so give us your information on how we can find you. And I know you said Facebook. Are you on Twitter?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr, my tag is at Miss Rocky. That's MSRAKYEE. And my Facebook and my mailing list is barakamiller.com.
Okay.
So you can go there and join my mailing list and stay up to date with all my activities.
And she has some really
wonderful
quotes, too. I've been following your quotes on Google. And, I mean, they're very powerful and impactful. Yeah. So definitely, my plight is I have a very huge heart for women and empowering women. And I want every woman who's watching this show right now, who's listening to the show, to feel empowered to be in a healthy, successful relationship. And if, in fact, you may not be, feel empowered enough to know that it is okay for you to go and talk to someone. And Kaylin Risker and Safe is there. If you want to find out how to have a better relationship, the teleseries that Baraka Miller has every Tuesday at 7:30, that's available. It's free. It's there. Stephen Labossiere. I think I remembered it because it's Stefan Labossiere.
His Facebook is Stefan Speaks.
Yes, and he'll be here partnering with Baraka Miller doing a wonderful seminar
it's a tour.
series.
It's actually his tour. He invited me to partake in it, so I'm so humble.
Yes.
But it's Stefan Speaks, real love, real talk, real relationships.
And we need to keep it real, so that's the perfect place to be. Okay. Since we have this beautiful lady that's about to walk down an aisle, what are the signs that you are in the right relationship to say I do to?
I would say the signs to say that I do. First of all, you have no baggage whatsoever harboring deep inside you from any previous relationship. You definitely want to make sure that anything that's from the past is in the past and is kept in the past. You've healed, you move on, and you forgive. Mm-hmm. Going into a new relationship is the start of something new. Be optimistic. Definitely know the elements we talked about earlier about speaking life into your man. Mm-hmm. That is so key. Mm-hmm. I could preach about that all day long. Just know you speak life into your man. And just, just go into it and be ready to live life and have fun. But I will always refrain back to the 3 chords. You, your man, and God.
All right. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So
I thank both of you for being on the go with me this evening. And certainly you want to make sure that you follow both of these young ladies. They're doing great things in the community, and that's really what we want to do. We want to be able to give back. It's time out for talking about it. Now we got to be about it. And they're about their business. So now be about yours and put your hand to the plow. If you don't know what your purpose is yet, that's okay. Put your hand to the plow. Help somebody else with their purpose, and I guarantee you, you'll walk. God will lead you into yours, and you'll find it just by helping somebody else. Because the first thing that we need to be able to know how to do is love. We get all of these, even in the church. I mean, all of these different things that we're supposed to do and want to be so deep, and that's great. But if we can't do that one first thing that God asked us to do, and that's to love, truly love our brothers and our sisters, nothing else matters. And when you love, you want to be able to give back. And that is what these ladies are doing. So I thank you both for being on the Go After Dark with me. This is the best of jazz, neo soul, and gospel music. We're going to go to some more music, and we'll be right back. Boom!